Right. So I moved 1 to the other side. I have 1 over on. So I have to write 2 restriction, not negative and positive 3. Good. Now please write the equal symbol and 0. So what is the LCD on the left? Okay. So for the first one, what do I need? Good. For the next one, second one, 1. And for the last one, I need the whole thing. I'm going to write this because it's already multiplied. So I'm going to put x squared minus 9 up there. So I don't have to waste my time multiplying it because I already know what it is. So then I have, can anyone dictate the numerator?
X minus 3
Very good.
plus 6
Yes?
minus x squared plus 9.
Excellent. Do you all agree with the top? Careful, because the negative in front requires to change all signs that follow. X squared with minus, negative 9 with minus. Perfect. Now I combine like terms at the top. What do I get? I get a negative x squared, I get a positive x, and then I get positive 12. Do you all agree with positive 12? Do you agree with the top? So negative x squared plus x, and this is 3. 3 plus 9 is 12. Now, this is a proportion at this stage, and I can cross multiply. What is left? After I cross multiply, what am I left with to solve?
Negative x squared plus x plus 12.
Excellent. Remember, I said that, and again, this is my suggestion. I refuse to solve a quadratic equation with a negative leading coefficient because it's much easier if I multiply both sides by negative 1 first. And I get x squared minus x minus 12 equals 0, which will have the same solution with the previous one. If I can factor, I will use the quadratic formula. But I think I can. And it's not going to take a long time. So what do we have? X minus 4 and x plus 3. So it appears that this equation has 2 solutions. X equals and x equals, but not so fast, right? That's the only solution. That's the reason why we state restrictions. One of them, for the domain, is very important to write restrictions, right? But here I prefer and I want and I encourage you to write the restrictions so you don't have to worry about solutions. Okay, should we continue with another example or look at complex rational expressions? Should we work on another example of a rational equation? Yes or no? Perfect. Let's choose another. Very good. On page 480, let's look at 41. X plus 1 over x plus 3 equals x squared minus 11x divided by x squared plus x minus 6 and minus x minus 3 over x minus 2. I have to say that the students who left are from my pre-calculus class. We needed a lot of time to master these equations. And they're in pre-calculus. Either they were not taught when they took the class, or they were not taught enough. I'm not sure. But we needed at the beginning of the class, that's what pre-calculus starts with this. At the beginning of the semester, we needed a lot of time to review this and work on problems. Okay, so let's give it a shot for a minute. You cannot do that. Remember, you cannot, if you don't have the same factor, you cannot continue. So here you only factor 2x, but you have to factor 2x squared. And if these two are not the same, you cannot continue factoring. So that's the trick. So when you have 4 terms, you factor out the greatest common factor, which is not 2x, right? It's 2x squared. So you have to erase this one. And then you will get 3x plus 1 from both. And you probably noticed this is not a friendly situation. Requires a lot of work. Let me know if you need help. Do we need more time?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Okay, so let's start. Yes? Mike, are you?
Yeah.
Just make sure that you don't, I can't see from there, it's too far from me. But make sure that you only have one equal symbol. I'm not saying you made a mistake, I can't see.
Oh yeah.
But just make sure that there's only one equal symbol, the left-hand side, the right-hand side, and one equal symbol, and you don't continue to the sides. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. Sorry,
Oh, that's fine. I'm using arrows instead of.
Okay, that's perfect. Yes, that's why I just saw you writing too long, so I said, oh no, he's using more than one equal symbol. Okay, sorry about that. So I have x plus 1 over x plus 3. I have minus x squared minus 11x over x plus 3 and x minus 2. Are we okay so far? It's okay if you took this one to the other side. That's fine. I took these two to the other side, but it doesn't matter. Are we okay with this so far? I have two restrictions to write, negative 3 and 2. I will write the equal symbol and the long fraction line and x plus 3, x minus 2. Are we okay so far? Yes, everyone? Yes? Okay. Then this one needs an x minus 2. This one needs a 1. And this one needs an x plus 3. Agreed so far? Everyone? Yes? Is that a yes? Okay, so now when I multiply these two, I have to use FOIL. It doesn't matter how you do it. If you can say x squared with x and negative 2 with 1, or you can say x squared with negative 2 and then 1 with negative 2. It doesn't matter. I prefer this way, but it doesn't matter again. So this is x squared minus 2x plus x minus 2. The next one is negative x squared plus 11x. And the next one, I know how to multiply these two. I'm not going to FOIL. I know how much is x plus 3 times x minus 3, and the answer is? Very good. Now I find I combine like terms. I'm happy that these two go away. And then I have an x squared, which is this. Then I have, this is negative x, and this is positive, yes, negative x, so this positive 10x. So these are all accounted for. And this is negative 11. And now I can write my special proportion. And I cross multiply, and I get that x squared plus 10x minus 11 is 0. And I factor into x plus 11 and x minus 1, and I get negative 11 and 1. Immediately look at the restrictions, and it's safe. It's okay if you made a mistake here and there. Just learn from it and practice some more. Do we need another, or can we look at, yes, Becky? Yes. Yes, you don't have to copy them. I can make you a copy when we finish. Well, before I scan them, or you can have them. It's up to you. That's fine. Say it again, Mike.
I thought that was so much shorter.
Oh, for this?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. So we need another rational equation, or we move on to the last two topics, equations that we solve for a particular letter, and complex rational expressions. And this chapter is done. So we need another rational equation, you think?
I think we're good.
Are we okay with this? But we need to practice, and I'm hoping that you, over this 4-day break, you can do this. And start reviewing your previous tests, please. Okay? Because I'd like to review for the final exam. Okay, so let's look at how to solve an equation for a letter. And this caught my eye, number 50. And that is C equals D in parentheses A plus 1 and everything divided by 24. And they say that this is a model from medicine. And we are asked to solve for uppercase A, this. This is what we are solving for, and this is the only variable. We have to assume that C and D are given to us. So all we have to do is solve for A. Now, here's my hint, and you should always look at an equation and ask yourselves, what is it? So once I put C, or you can say, well, I don't need this for this equation. I don't need you to show me over 1 because I can multiply both sides by 24, which is fine. Same thing. So let's do just that first, right? We cross multiply or we multiply both sides by 24. So I have 24C equals D in parentheses A plus 1. This is the only variable. This is what we are solving for. So therefore, I have two options. I either distribute D or get rid of D. I prefer to get rid of D, but you don't have to. You can distribute it. Which way do you want to go?
Get rid of D.
Good. So let's get rid of D. How do I get rid of D?
Divide it.
Right. So I have 24C over D equals A plus 1, and I'm solving for A. And what would be the final step?
Subtract.
Right. So then A equals 24C over D minus 1. Let's practice these some more. Uh, 46. This talks about rainfall intensity. Very interesting models. So it's A over T plus B. So we are asked to solve for T this time. So let's see what we can come up with. So let's work on this. 46. And then I would like to look at 54. Which is 1 over 5 plus 2 over y equals 1 over x, and we are told to solve for x. So, of course, I recommend this and cross multiply. But I wouldn't distribute. I would get rid of it like we did with D. Both methods are acceptable. Both answers are acceptable. So what I would do here, I will cross multiply. I would write that A equals I times T plus B. I would divide by I. A divided by I equals T plus B, and I'm solving for T. So T will equal A over I and minus B. Do you agree with this? Okay, so now we are solving this equation for x. In this particular instant, we had something similar to this. I would not move x to the other side, only because the variable is only on one side. I will combine here, I will find the LCD, I will add blah blah blah, and then flip both to get x. So let's do that. So 1 over x is on one side. Here I have the LCD, which is very good. So I need something for the top of each fraction. What do I need for the first one? Very good. And 5 for the other one. So then I have y plus 10. At this point, this is useful, flipping. It's useful only if this is 1. Otherwise, cross-multiplying will be the same, right? But since it's 1 and I flip both at the same time, I got the solution without cross-multiplying. Yes, restrictions are in order, like y cannot be 0 and y cannot be negative 10, but we're fine with this. Do we need more examples of solving for a letter? If not, we can go to the last section of this chapter. We have seen some examples last time, but not enough. Okay, on page 500, I would like to start with 35. X to negative 1 divided by x to negative 2 plus y to negative 2. Allow me to work on this problem with you, and then we'll select one for you. Okay. I'm looking at this expression, and I realize that x to negative 1 must be replaced by 1 over x. A base raised to a negative exponent is 1 over, yes. Then I look at x to negative 2, and I realize that that has to be replaced by good. And then I look at y to negative 2, and I know that that has to be replaced by good. So remember, we cannot work with negative exponents. We have to change everything back to a fraction. Good. So the numerator is just done for now. I can't do anything here. But in the denominator, I have to find the LCD, which is very good. So now I need adjustments for each top. I don't want you to be afraid of these complex rational expressions. They're only scary for one reason, because we have fractions at the top and fractions at the bottom. I have contact lens liquid. Do you need it?
Yeah. No.
It's very, very clear. Is it good? Did it get in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
My pleasure. I wear contacts not at school. I mean, not because they're so strong. But I wear contacts and I have it all the time with me. You need more?
No, I don't.
Okay. So I know how you feel. Very good. So right here we have a y squared. Right here we have an x squared. So this will be y squared plus x squared. Again, because I have two variables, I assume everything is okay. I have 1 over x. I copy the fraction from the top and I flip the denominator. Oops, sorry. Multiplied by x squared, y squared. Let's put these in the correct order. Not that it matters. I cannot simplify. There's nothing I can do other than getting rid of one x. So this x and this x. And then the simplified form is xy squared over x squared plus y squared. No one can simplify anything. The denominator has 2 terms. The numerator has 2 factors. I can't touch anything. Okay, allow me to find another one for you, and let's work on it. Let's say 44. 5x to negative 2 plus, no, it's minus. I'm sorry, I'm going to change it. 3y to negative 1 over x to negative 1 plus y to negative 1. I copied it wrong. It's negative. So let's work on this for 1 minute. This is what my doctor recommended for you, for all. So just write it down if you want. It's very good, and it comes in bigger bottles as well. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I use something like this. I have it by my bed. My pleasure. He claims that it's the best on the market. Yes. Oh yeah, I didn't write it. Yes, I'm sorry. So what was that? 20? Yes, that's good. 23.9. Sorry, I didn't write it. Thank you. To rewrite the equation. I'm sorry, the expression. Can anyone dictate this first step for the top? Say it again. Careful. That's why I wanted you to start with me. This has power 1. I cannot assume or transfer this power that is specifically and only to x over 5. So how will I rewrite this?
5 times
5
x squared.
over x squared. 5 has power 1. I cannot move it anywhere. But x to negative 2 has a negative power. It has to go to the denominator. Is that clear? Good. And then minus. What will you write for the second one? Remember, 3 has power 1. Positive power cannot go anywhere. It has to stay at the top, in other words. So this second fraction will be 3 over y. And the denominator will be, obviously,
1 over x.
yes, plus,
1 over x.
that's it. So let's take it from here. Is that clear? Okay, now, don't change anything because I'm going to erase it. If I had this, then it would have absolutely been 1 over 5x everything squared. But there were no parentheses there, so I cannot transfer the power from x to 5. So let's simplify this. There are two variables assuming that all conditions are fulfilled. Just find the LCD for the top and the LCD for the denominator. And then we'll choose one more here. Yeah, why not 20? Can anyone give us the least common denominator for the top? Good. So then this one needs a y and this one needs an x squared. So then we have 5y minus 3x squared. Agreed with the numerator? Okay. What is the LCD for the denominator? Good. So then this one needs a y and this one needs an x. So it's y plus x. Assuming all conditions are fulfilled, I will copy the numerator. And yes, I always said descending order, descending order. This is not in descending order. But there is nothing I can do. I mean, I can't rearrange it, and we could, but there are two variables in here, so that's okay. But I will simplify one x from the top with an x from the bottom, and the y from the top with the y from the bottom. I can only simplify factors. There is nothing I can do here. If you want, you can rearrange it as negative 3x squared plus 5y divided by, there is still an x left here, and x plus y. And that is the final simplified form. Okay, last problem for tonight. So let's work on this. You're welcome. Be very careful because there is a twist here. So you have to work on this, rearrange everything and change this, and only then find the least common denominator, etc., etc. Ready? So I will copy the top. I will work on this. So 2 minus a equals negative a plus 2, which is negative a minus 2. And positive over negative will become negative. So I have 3 over a plus 2 minus 6 over a minus 2. Do we agree with this? Now, this will be a terrible mistake to start simplifying anything here, right? You can't do that because these are still in the process of becoming one fraction. So you can't do anything here, right? You could just write that a cannot be plus or minus 2, which would be nice. But now the numerator has a least common denominator of a plus 2a minus 2. A plus 2, a minus 2, and so does the denominator, a plus 2, a minus 2. This one needs an a minus 2, and this one, of course, an a plus 2. This one needs an a minus 2, and this one needs an a plus 2. So then, can anyone dictate the numerator? This one.
5a plus 10.
Very good.
Minus a minus 2.
Very good. Excellent. 5a minus 10 minus a minus 2. Perfect. And now, can anyone dictate the denominator, the numerator for the denominator?
3a minus 6. Minus 6a. Minus 12.
That's it. Excellent. Indeed. So 3a minus 6 minus 6a minus 12. Perfect. So now I copy the numerator simplified into 4a minus 12 over this. And I flip a plus 2, a minus 2. So now 3a minus 6a is negative 3a. Negative 6 minus 12 is negative 18. Yes, I will get rid of these two. Yes, I will factor the numerator. What would I have?
Four and a minus 2.
Good. I would factor the common factor in the denominator, the greatest common factor in the denominator, and that would be negative outside and 3. And in parentheses, I have a plus 6. I tried. It didn't work. I can't factor. I'm going to add one more restriction to the list, but this is it. I can't do anything else.